Masters for the Missoula Sentinel High School football Spartans. A very big win for the Spartans last week on Friday night Kempson against Helena High. They won 34-16. They played great on defense, and they got an enormous road win to even their record at 2-2.
Yeah, it was huge. Both teams are 2-2 now, and the Sentinel Spartans were able to get 5 interceptions off of Helena's quarterback, and they had a couple miscues on special teams. They had a couple snaps that were not able to get to the punter cleanly, and that led to some momentum for Helena, especially early on. But Sentinel was able to clean up some of those mistakes, especially in the second half. Even though Mitch Roberts had an interception in the game as well, he was the leading rusher for the whole game, and so his dual threat capability was definitely on display. The ground game for Sentinel worked in general, which is good because that's something that they need to have success down the stretch. Coming off of a loss to a crosstown loss, kind of emotionally draining for sure.
Yeah.
But it was against a playoff team again in Big Sky, and Helena's a playoff team, and to go on the road and get a win over a playoff team is really impressive, especially in the fashion that they did it with that ball hawking secondary and that strong run game.
Yeah, I mean, it was an enormous win all the way around, the 5 turnovers. They got a big stop on 4th down, then they went 96 yards to take the lead in that game. Looking at Sentinel now, they're 2-2, they're in that playoff hunt. Where is this team right now as you see them?
Well, if the season ended today, they would be in the playoffs, even though they're just 2-2. And 8 teams get to the AA playoffs. If you include the Hellgate forfeit win that they're going to get later on in their schedule, they're 3-2. So halfway through their schedule, they have a winning record, which is definitely a step in the right direction. They're trying to beat 5-5 as a record because that's not good enough. That's what the last 2 years should teach us, is that 5-5 isn't good enough. They need at least 6-4, and they're on pace for that. So that's a great step in the right direction. This defense, like we talked about, the turnover margin is definitely a positive for this team because of that defense. And also Mitch Roberts and company have cleaned up a little bit. They had a couple fumbles early on in the season, but Roberts was able to lead this team to a huge win on Friday night. And at this point, I see them as a playoff team, especially after they've hung tough with Big Sky. They played decent against Senior. They beat Butte convincingly, and then they beat Helena on the road, which is huge.
Yeah, the Spartans 2-2, like we mentioned, and I think focus and motivation is really the key with this team. Really, just being able to play a full 4 quarters every time they get out there. They have the talent to do it. I believe that they can make plays at opportune times, and if they're able to do that, they will be successful and they will make that playoff push, like we mentioned. Looking forward, this Friday night they play Billings Skyview. Skyview has 1 win on the year, so looking to get another road win to bump their record above 500. They go to 3-2 if Sentinel were to take that. What do you see in that game, and how do you feel Sentinel will perform against Billings Skyview?
I think it's a great way to start the second half, so to speak. I think Billings Skyview is a winnable game for Sentinel. It's going to be huge for them to just have good gap discipline because Billings Skyview has the triple option offense that you see Air Force or Navy run very well. And so if that gets rolling, if they get like 5 yards of play, then it can just kill you all night. It could also lull you to sleep a little bit, so be careful of them trying to throw it over your head as well. I think that with the way the defense has been playing, even though they're a little undersized, if they can just, again, stay in their gaps and the offense can just keep rolling in a positive way, I think that Billings Skyview, they should expect to win that game, even though it is on the road. And it's a great thing because to have positive momentum snowball going into a huge game on homecoming against Glacier, which we'll have for you on Spartan Live on the 30th of September. That's going to be huge to just keep building momentum going into that Glacier game.
Missoula Sentinel looking to make their push for the playoffs against Billings Skyview this Friday night. I'm Cole Johnson.
I'm Kempson Cross.
And thank you for watching Wake Up Missoula on MCAT.